The Christmas weekend is finally here. Families are hitting the road and taking to the skies in record numbers. Joining us live to talk about holiday travel is Doug Shoup with AAA. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Zach. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So talk to us. How many people are expected to travel by car versus air this holiday?
Well, I got to tell you, in Texas alone, we are anticipating 9 million people will be traveling 50 miles or more away from home. The vast majority of them, 8.3 million, will be taking road trips. And then about 410,000 will fly somewhere. You know, typically when it comes to these big holiday weekends, traveling by automobile is always the #1 mode of transportation for people because it's the most convenient. You can leave when you want to leave and return when you want to leave, but it's also the most affordable for families. You know, you can certainly pack the kids in the car and take that road trip for a lot less money than purchasing airfare for everybody in the family.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, hitting the road late tonight, 17 hours. I'm absolutely dreading it. Yeah, tell us, what are the worst and best times to hit the road?
Well, AAA Texas partners with INRIX, a transportation analytics company, and we're anticipating that the busiest days on the roads this holiday season will be tomorrow, as well as the Thursday after Christmas, and then the Saturday before New Year's Eve. And that's because you're going to have, of course, after Christmas, a lot of folks returning from their Christmas destinations, and then a lot of other people who are heading out to their New Year's Eve destinations. Best advice is leave as early in the day as you possibly can. You still want to drive at times when you're normally awake so you're not drowsy, but leave before that early morning rush hour commute so that, you know, travelers heading in and out of town are not mixing with those commuters heading back to work after the holiday.
Yeah, that's some great insight. Hey, question for you. Of these millions of Texans traveling more than 50 miles from their home, do we know a list or a select handful of top holiday destinations?
Yeah, good question. According to a survey of our Auto Club and AAA Texas travel agents, the top destinations for Texans are going to be obviously the other big cities in Texas. A lot of people like to see their family and friends, and they go to the DFW area or Austin or San Antonio. But also the big hot spots are going to be warm weather destinations. So you've got a lot of people who are heading to Florida, taking cruises to the Caribbean this holiday season. And then you've also got those big typical tourist spots like New York City will be very popular, New Orleans for a lot of folks in Texas, and then also Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, hoping to get lucky there. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the folks heading to the airport. I know we're always encouraging folks to, one, get to the airport well in advance, but also to check that app before leaving the house. Any other suggestions?
Yeah, you know, our AAA Texas travel advisors remind you to get to the airport at least 2 hours before domestic flights, at least 3 hours before international flights. You do want to download your app because it's going to let you know right away if there are any changes to your flight itinerary. You also want to, if you plan to drive yourself to the airport, be sure to reserve a parking spot ahead of time. You know, there are a lot of off-site parking lots. Reserve that parking space. You don't want to be wasting time looking for a parking space when you need to be inside the terminal. And then also check in online or on your phone instead of using those kiosks in the terminal, because there are a lot of long lines at those. And then finally, as you're going through that TSA screening process, double check to make sure you have everything. The most common items left behind are belts, keys, wallets. You don't want to, you know, realize that you've left something behind and have to run back and get it when your flight is boarding. So just make sure you've got everything so that you can get to your flight on time.
Yeah, the worst feeling is forgetting something, especially if it's in a wallet or ID. Okay, mister, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Happy holidays to you.